like I still got a lot of homies that run around the streets and stuff, and they'll call me like, bro, I got stopped, but I was cool, bro. Like you said, I was cool, and the cop actually was cool. He let me off on a warning. I'm like, I tried to tell you, bro. You don't got to do all that chirping. It's not worth it, bro. Like, just be cool, man. A lot of cops are actually solid, like solid dudes.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. What's going on, Black and Blue fan? Welcome to this edition of the Black and Blue Podcast, where we celebrate diversity in U.S. law enforcement. If by some reason you don't know me by now, my name is Dale, and I'm the host. Thank you for stopping by, but I really appreciate it, and let me tell you, I got a real good one for you here today. But before I do that, let me ask y'all, please click those like, subscribe, and bell icons right down here on my YouTube channel. And if you listen to me on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you rate the Black and Blue Podcast 5 stars. And finally, make sure you check me out on any one of my social media pages for even more content. You can find me everywhere at Black and Blue US. All right, so with that out the way, let's get to it. My guest is a young police officer making a difference in one of our most beautiful cities, while also making a difference in the world of social media. So come on, y'all, let's give a warm Black and Blue welcome to San Diego police officer Trey Mosley. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I can't call it.
Thanks for coming on to the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I said that you were a San Diego officer, but you got that 210 had the, most of us know San Diego is a 619. What's up with the 210?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm from LA area, but I grew up in the IE, and one of the main freeways that runs through the IE is the 210 freeway. So I started making these. I only made these hats. It's basically part of my brand on the side. It says the authentic breadwinner. So the whole purpose behind that is just getting money authentically, doing everything, hustling, but not doing nothing illegal to get money. So that's where the brand name got inspired from. And then I just started finding parts of the cities I grew up in, and I tie it all together. And the 210 freeway kind of represents the area I grew up in. So it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody do it this way either. So
that's what's up. Yeah, I grew up I originally from Columbus, Ohio, but then we moved out here to California. My mom and I, we moved out to like the Glendale, Pasadena area, and the 210 was there. And when I was growing up, the 210 didn't even come all the way out here to the IE.
Yeah, it didn't.
And then they fixed it, and then now it comes all the way through, goes all the way to, I think it stops right there in Glendale, right there by Dodger Stadium, Griffith Park over there.
Yeah. I think that's like the end of it.
Yep, right there. So, man, that's good history right there. And so you out here in IE, but you work for San Diego PD. How long you been down there?
It's been about 2.5 years. 2.5.
Okay. So you barely off probation.
Oh yeah. I'm barely cracking it. Yeah, for sure.
How you liking it?
It's been a good experience, man. It's kind of what I thought it would be. I feel like no complaints thus far. I feel like I'm in a busy area, so my learning curve has been tremendous. And I've been the newest on my squad since I've started. So just being around people that are a lot more senior than me has helped me out a lot too. Kind of made me mature as an officer a lot quicker than others. So
that's what's up. What do you think your niche is now? With 2.5 years in, are you a DUI guy? Are you a dope guy, guns guy? What is it that you that's your niche now?
So I grew up I kind of grew up around gangs, so that's what I know and that's what I understand. I know how to talk the talk. I know how to walk that walk. I understand that type of lingo. So that's kind of my thing. That's what I aspire to be at some point, is to make it to gangs, or like a specialized unit like that. Um, that's pretty much where I'm at. Though that's what I know and love. So I know that I'll bring value to that side of the job for sure.
Absolutely. What's like the I know they got a big illegal population down there, just being close to the border. But
Yeah.
what's the gang situation down there in San Diego?
So I like to look at San Diego as like LA's little brother. I feel like
Yeah.
uh, San Diego has a lot more gangs than what people think, but because it's a tourist city, it just doesn't really make it public. But I know when I went out there, I'm thinking like, oh, San Diego's sweet. I ain't got nothing to worry about because, coming like from the
Nope.
LA area, I'm like, I should be good. And then when I got out there, I'm like, yo, some parts of this San Diego look like Compton and it look rough.
Yep.
So I was surprised about that. I was surprised for sure.
Yeah, San Diego's beautiful. I love it. I'm actually going down there this weekend, and yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
love San Diego. San Diego's what's up. And but how'd you get into you said you grew up around the gang area, but
Uh-huh.
you obviously decided to go into law enforcement. What was that about?
So I was originally going to school to be a doctor, and then kind of when I
Oh,
decided,
okay.
yeah. So I had got one degree, and then I went to school to get a second degree. And in the midst of getting that second degree, it was when COVID hit, and it was kind of hard to manage a full-time job and go to school full-time like that, especially with those type of rigorous courses. So I decided to let go of school and then just continue on to try to find a job some other way. And then my first thought was being a firefighter. Considering that I was in the medical field, I thought that that was probably the next best option. And then in the midst of doing that, one of my homies was like, "Bro, you should probably be a police officer." He was with San Diego PD at the time. And he's like, "I think you'll be good at it, bro. You should just apply. You got all the skills. I feel like you know how to talk to people. That's like the number one thing." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll do it. Whatever." So I applied, and they both kind of was just. I did them both at the same time, but the police route just was moving a lot faster than the firefighter route. So I just let go of the firefighter route, and I just continued on with the police route. And then I didn't really know what to expect going into it. And then, but I just now that I'm in it, I feel like I bring a lot more value to the police world than I do the fire world anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely. But you obviously didn't have any apprehension to want to join law enforcement. So what was
oh
your
hell no.
experience? Yeah, what was your experience growing up with law enforcement?
I mean, obviously, like I said before, I grew up around gangs and stuff. So my experience with law enforcement was like hands off, don't talk to them. All they want to do is hurt black people. Like just the normal stuff that you hear and see is exactly what I
Yep,
thought. So
yep. But obviously, when you got inside, did you see that wasn't the case?
oh yeah. And granted, I mean, my experience has been my experience, and there was stuff
Yeah,
I probably didn't see back in the '90s, early 2000s. So what I can say for right now, uh, 2020 moving forward, I ain't really seen none of the stuff that people try to make it out to be. I haven't seen no grimy stuff going on. Of course, you got your bad apples in this profession, but in all, the majority is completely different than what I thought it would be. Like, there's a lot of solid cops out there. They're not racist and none of that kind of stuff. At least they're not public about it. But um, the stuff that people thought is not true. Just like I thought, the stuff I thought, which is what everybody
yeah,
else thought, is not true. Once I got into this profession,
yep. There's gonna be bad apples in any profession.
yeah,
Teachers,
come on.
lawyers, doctors, all that. Only thing is
Mm-hmm.
about our job that makes it, more out there is that we have the power to take away people's liberty and their life, and it's just, we the face of the city.
Exactly.
Yep. So, but hey, you got in and you enjoying it and all that right now. What was kind of you came in and what was that 2021?
Yeah, it was 2021. 2021 is when I got in. Yeah,
Yeah, 2021, and that was like right on the heels of COVID and George
yeah.
Floyd
COVID,
and
George Floyd was just. I was coming on the back end of the hill for George Floyd. So
yeah. So what were you thinking about when all that Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all that was going down?
yeah, like I thought, like everybody else, because I wasn't a cop then, so it was a lot I didn't know. And then kind of getting into it now, there's a lot that I learned about the laws and how police officers operate and how they are taught to respond to certain behaviors and certain things. And I know for one, that changed my opinion about George Floyd completely. Just knowing what it's like to deal with someone that's under the influence of drugs is something most people haven't experienced. And then kind of knowing the backstory, how the ambulance came late, and dealing with someone that's difficult to deal with, like George Floyd was at the time. I feel like all of that in combined changed my opinion about George Floyd. I still think Chauvin's wrong, like 100%. He's wrong for not
Absolutely.
reassessing. He's wrong for not reassessing. But his original process and how he went about it, and even him initially putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, I don't think all that was at wrong, considering that the carotid was okay at that point in time. So having all that in mind, I do think that Chauvin was still wrong, but I just think he got a lot of criticism. That other pieces to that incident didn't get the same criticism. Like George Floyd, they should, harp on him. Like, dude, he wasn't the easiest to deal with. He was under the influence of drugs. They was there for a valid crime. It's not like he was, some innocent person that this happened to. So all that combined, they need to bring that up. Talk about that a little bit more. Talk about how the ambulance came late. Like, all those things in total don't get talked about. It's just so easy to blame the police, and I don't really like that part.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these asphyxiation, excited deliriums, all those kind of deaths, they do happen. And
Yeah.
we kind of trained to, we got to act. And I think that's what really brought Chauvin down is he didn't act, he didn't recognize the signs that dude was going down, and he just sat there with that smug look on his face, and optics and
that part
everything
wasn't
too.
cool. Like, man, I learned that very quickly. That optics are, oh my god, man.
Opposites to everything. You can't do anything. We me and because like I'm an OG, I got like 20 something years on. I'm about to call it quits here sometime next year, probably.
Okay, hey, congrats.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm not quite there yet. Knock on wood, somewhere here. But I talk about officers nowadays, like you just now getting in. You guys are brought up with body cameras, so you guys don't have to. You guys don't have that stigma about them, like people my generation, officers of my generation did.
Yeah, like a lot of the guys that are been on your time, like 15 plus years, they talk about that. Like, man, it's so much harder now, and I'm like, well, it ain't harder for me because this is what I walked into, so this is all I know. I bet it was difficult to transition to the body cams. I couldn't imagine like how hard that would be. Just remembering to turn it on is probably difficult, but this era of policing that we're in now it's normal to me because it's what I walked into. So
yeah, that's all you were trained with it. And what are your feelings on the body cam? What do you think it does for the officers wearing them?
Shit, I don't have no problem with them. I think that I've had allegations against me a few times over some silly shit, like girls saying I tried to rape them, and I'm like, dude, that's fine. Body cam is on. That's gonna save me at the end of the day. Or people saying that I said something that wasn't true. Body cam is on. It's gonna prove it all wrong. So I'm good with body cams. I ain't got no problem with them. I think they saved me in times where I needed them. And obviously, there's certain things you can't say with them on, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. For that, for that matter, for the value that they bring, I'll take them all day, every day. So no complaints with body cams for me.
Yeah, I remember when I was on patrol and we first got introduced to just the audio recorders. And those, officers back then were like, I don't want to be hitting record every time, I go in contact. But just like you just said, those things save you, man. Those recordings, somebody coming to the station, Officer Peter said this, that, and the other. Nope, it's right here. You want to listen to it too? And they'll be like, never mind. Never mind.
Exactly.
I dropped that. So, you say, you grew up around gangs and all that. What was like, your people, your family, your friends, what were their thoughts about you joining?
So at first, no, my people wasn't really liking it at first because, like I said, everyone was kind of like not really anti-police, but like, yo, we ain't really messing with them like that. So in the beginning, that was kind of the idea, and then once they seen that the ball was rolling, my dad was like one of the main ones saying like, he's like, hey, actually, I think this may not be a bad move because you understand the streets, so you may not have a hard time out there. It may be easy for you. So once that became a thing, I feel like that was more accepting of it once the ball started rolling a little bit more. But Now they're always interested, always asking me stories like, "Hey, what happened? What happened this week? Or what happened this? Have you got anything crazy?" Or you know what I'm saying? Every time I go to a party, they ask me a million questions. So in the beginning, though, there was some reserves, and rightfully so. But I mean, I think now a lot of my family has accepted it, and they actually like it. Like I said, I think a lot of my family is proud of me for doing this, and I haven't had nobody say anything in my family say anything crazy to me. So
Right. You know, I remember having family reunions, you know, like Thanksgiving dinners and all that, you know, with the
yeah,
extended family, not just, you know, not just the family in the house, but the extended family, the cousins and
yeah,
the aunts and uncles and all that. And they want to get into debates about, you know, law enforcement and, you know, but it's all love
yeah,
because, you know, we family at the end of the day, we hug it out. But I remember having those debates. You have any of those?
yeah. I mean, we get that. Like, I don't really get them so much now, but like, let's say like George Floyd, right? Like,
Yeah.
somebody would ask me, "What's your opinion on that?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't want to know my opinion because when I tell you, you know, when I tell you all these things, you're gonna say I'm tripping." So then I'll do that, and a lot of times they're like, "Nah, that just don't make no sense." I'm like, "Well, you just listen, bro. I can only explain it for you. I can't understand it for you, dog. So if you don't want to understand it,
There you go.
it's what
There
it
you
is."
go. Yeah, man. And on the lines of explaining things to people, I mentioned earlier that you were, you know, you got a social media platform where you
Yeah,
kind of explain what's going on in law enforcement. Tell us about that.
yeah. So I started. Well, my page. I really just took my personal page, which was just Trey Mosley, and I just started trying to monetize it and to kind of try to spread the word about police work. And I feel like education is the number one thing when it comes to this profession. Like people that are outside, like civilians, once you understand how we operate, a lot of the stigmas and lies people make up, they will literally vanish because some of the stuff people make up just simply is not true. Number one, like my video the first video I ever did was a ticket quota. I don't know how. I mean, you know, you grew up in a black family. All black families believe that quote secret quotas are real. Like
Yeah,
that's how my
absolutely.
parents
For
taught me
sure.
that. I
For
know
sure.
your parents taught you that. So
Yep.
it's the first of the month. They got to go make that money and all this stuff. So uh, that was just one right there, and it was crazy how to see how that video, my first video, blew up to be what it was, and so many people was like, "Yo, I never knew that wasn't true." Still, people to this day, my own family will be like, "Yo, I never knew that was. I can't believe I've been telling my kids this lie for all them years." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's just a lack of."
Yeah.
People say we black training. It's lack of civilians not doing so.
Right. What's been the reaction on the page? You get a lot of trolls on there that
Yeah,
kind of say that, you
yeah,
know, you know, you only see it from the blue perspective, but you don't see it from the black man's perspective anymore.
yeah. I get that, and I mean that's why I also have another video up there saying like, "Yo, this is how I grew up. This is what I know. This is this is what I've experienced." And it's like, "Yo, how could you not see that? I understand how it works, bro, but I don't know. People have their own mind made up about police, and they're not going to change that opinion for nobody, I guess." But even further, yeah, there's trolls on there, and at first I was
For sure.
engaging into that, and then one of my I had well, specifically one of my FTOs that he was like, "Yo, I like what you're doing, but don't respond to them people in the comments, bro. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you to go to IO for something stupid like that." So I feel like after him telling me that, it kind of made me settle down a little bit because I was entertaining some of the silly comments, like people saying stupid shit. I'm like, all right, I'll respond back with something stupid, or I'll respond back, and I was kind of, I feel like I was taking it personal at first because I feel like people were making me be something that I wasn't, and I was trying to, trying to express how that wasn't me. And now
Yeah.
it's like, I've had a lot of people tell me like you're doing the right thing and kind of encouraging me, so it's made it a little bit easier not to respond to some of that stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
they just
was
trying to
taking it
get a
personal at one point.
yeah, they just trying to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So
What's your
yeah.
department feel about your page?
Shit, I don't know, honestly. I mean, it's kind of picking up steam, so we'll see. I mean, the bigger it gets, I feel like our unit one will eventually see what it is, and I feel like I'm doing my best to represent the badge in the right way. I'm not tarnishing our
Yes.
name, and that's what the main thing is. So I feel like, and I also ain't violating no policy. I've read the policy in and out. I know what I can and cannot say, and what I can and cannot do. So I'm pretty confident that I haven't violated policy, and I'm pretty confident that some of the higher, like some of the brass and stuff like that, I feel like they'll back me and they'll support what I'm doing. But I don't know. I'm barely picking up steam, so we'll, it's as some time pass on, and I blow up more, then I'm sure that they'll get wind of it, and then I'll probably start getting some phone calls. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I think San Diego is pretty progressive as opposed to the bigger agency up
I
our
agree.
way, up this way.
Yeah.
I've heard,
For
I've
sure.
heard, I speak to a lot of officers that work there, and they say that admin over there trips about,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. Nah,
so
nah, 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 nah.
yeah.
But
So
luckily, I mean,
speak,
we just got a new chief, and we actually just he kind of came into our lineup, and he was talking about how the number one thing we need to do is build trust with the community, so we can start to get
yeah,
policing back where it needs to be. And I'm like, shit, well, I must fit right in that category because that's exactly what I'm doing, bro.
it's exactly what you're
So
doing. Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, and I told you before that I'm close with Captain Kelso up there, and he's been
Oh,
on the show a
gee.
few times
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, and he's big on social media too. So
Uh-huh.
I think you picked the right department.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We got a lot of representation in our department, especially at the top, so that helps.
Yeah. What made you pick San Diego?
Dude, honestly, like for one, I had my boy kind of talk me into it, and I was like, "Well, I'll just go there." And then one thing I really liked a lot that I don't see no other departments doing is that if you have a degree, your written test gets waived. So that was like one of the coolest things to me, and I'm like, "Oh well, shit." With that being said, I'll apply just because of that reason alone. So
Right.
I feel like those were the two. One of my, like I said, I had a boy that kind of influenced me, and then the second reason was we don't have to take we don't have to take our written test when we have a degree with our department. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the pay is pretty competitive with everybody else. So I mean, that wasn't the end all be all. I also like that the department was big, so I feel like it was a lot of opportunities too. That I thought that part was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some pluses and minuses to working a big department and
Yeah,
all that, or working a smaller department. I've done both now at a smaller department, and where the chief knows me, the chief knows my family. So that's a little, that there's some good and some bad that can happen with that. Luckily, I'm not a problem child, so it's a good
yeah,
thing.
that
But
helps.
at a bigger agency, you can hide if you get into a problem. They can
That's
hide
true.
you.
That's true.
I
Yeah, they'll
can't
stuck
hide in
you on
my
a desk
agency.
somewhere.
Yeah. We about 100 sworn, so I can't hide.
Oh, yeah, that's small. Yeah, you definitely can't hide.
Yeah, definitely can't hide. But it's all good, man. And so you loving San Diego? Are you living down there too, or?
I was living in San Diego. I just moved back to the Inland Empire, so I've been doing a commute right now. But
Wow, what's that drive?
shit, hour and a half, man.
And
Yeah,
what
but my
what shifts you guys working? You 312s or 410s or what?
we do four tens, 4 10s.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
four
got to make
tens.
that drive. Wow.
4 days
And
a
what are
week.
you working days or nights? What are you working?
Right now, when I was working 2 to 12, and I was smooth. I had no traffic both ways, but I just got moved to day watch, so 6 to 4. But what I try to do is, I'm on the only days I have traffic are Fridays and Mondays. So I try to either I'll go work out on one of those days, or I try to get some overtime so that way I can avoid the traffic. So it ends up working out to be cool.
Yeah. So let's get back to your social media platform. And
Hmm.
how do you pick the topics that you're talking about, and um, what do you get into there? Do you do much research about it? What do you do there?
So what I try to do is it's kind of crazy. I'll just be driving and I have a note. I have like a tab in my phone, a note tab, and the moment something pops in my head, I'm like, oh shit, that's something to talk about. I type it in my phone real quick so I don't lose it. But the topics they just kind of randomly come to me, like questions that I had when I was coming up, or I hit my group chat with some of the homies, and I'm like, yo, what's something that y'all curious to know about? Oh, I want to know about this. I'm like, okay, I can probably make a video about that, or some of the stuff they'll bring up, and I'm like, I can't talk about that. I don't know enough about it, or some of these incidents. If it's like a popular one, I'll try to do it. I'll try to jump on it as fast as I can. If I wait too long, then I won't do it. But my topics just come just randomly when they pop up in my head, or like if one of the homies tell me like, hey, I want to know about this, or can you talk about that? Or sometimes it just be people like regular people that I don't even know. They'll send me videos in my DMs, and I'm like, okay, that's a good topic to talk about. So I don't really have like a structured way of doing it. It's just kind of random, however they come. If the ideas come to me somehow, some way, then if I feel like it's a good topic, then I'll speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of topics, unfortunately, that can be discussed in our in our profession nowadays, because there's
Man,
always something hitting the social media and the regular media that you got to
exactly.
talk about. But it's a good thing that you talk about this regular stuff. Traffic stops.
Yeah,
I've seen you talking about bullets and ammo. All that sort of stuff that you talk about as well. So that's some good info for people.
yeah. I try to keep it tailored towards the average person. Like some people be like, you talk about this case law, and I'm like, bro, like the average person has no clue what that is, or the average person will never run into that issue. So I feel like, yeah, it's valuable, but is it valuable to my kind of audience? Like, I'm not really trying to appeal to a bunch of cops. Like, I know cops will back me and
Yep.
support me. That's great. But I mean, if I'm just talking to a bunch of cops, that doesn't hold no value, and it's no
Yep.
disrespect. I mean, I love my profession, bro, but it doesn't bring the value like talking to civilians, and you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose an audience by talking about stuff that's too cop like. And like, if I'm talking about like certain case law, it's like, dude, average person cannot relate to that, so I'm not going to speak on it. That's why I do a lot about traffic stops, because a lot of people would experience law enforcement from just a simple traffic stop. So I try to speak on traffic stops as much as I can. So.
Yeah, a lot of that is when you hear about in the Black community, the talk.
Mm-hmm.
The talk about how you should be in a traffic stop. Keep your hands only move when the officer tells you to. Be
Yeah.
polite and respectful and all that sort of stuff. And I think everybody should be doing that to begin with.
Come on.
But those are things that we got to tell our kids, and we got to put in those videos. It's a good thing that you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's been beneficial because, like, I still got a lot of homies that run around the streets and stuff, and they'll call me like, "Bro, I got stopped, but I was cool, bro. Like you said, I was cool, and the cop actually was cool. He let me off on a warning." I'm like, "I tried to tell you, bro. You don't got to do all
Yep.
that chirping. It's not worth it, bro. Like, just be cool, man. A lot of cops are actually solid, like solid dudes. If you
Yep.
just if you want to veil your personality a little bit, the average cop can relate to you, bro, and they'll try to use that discretion that they can. Some stuff we can't use discretion. It is what it is, but if we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
use discretion, for sure.
Yeah. I kind of want to debunk what you were talking about earlier about the quota. Now, there's
Uh-huh.
actually no quota. I will say that. But let me say like if you work traffic, right? You work
Ah,
traffic,
you're
and
right. You're right. I know where you're going.
everybody in your team writing, 2, 5, 10 tickets a day, and you
Hmm.
come in with one, and then
Yeah, that's
it's
gonna be a
it's
problem.
eval time. It's eval time, right? Like, what you
uh
doing out there all day for 12 hours? You
Yeah,
come
yeah,
back
for
and
sure, for sure.
so it's a quota, but it's not a quota. It's
Yeah,
just
it's like an unsaid
keeping up
unsaid
with your
rule.
partners. Yeah, yeah.
100%,
It's keeping up with
100%.
your partners. It's doing your job for one.
That's facts. Yeah,
Yeah, if you
that's
work in
true.
traffic, yeah, you better be enforcing those traffic laws. So
Yeah, you damn right. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, for real, for real. And so what do you plan on doing with the rest of you? Because you got a long way to go.
Yeah, a whole lot
What's
of
the
way to
goals?
go.
What's the goal for you?
The goal for sure at minimum do 10 years minimum. I feel like that's where the value comes in this profession. The only way I won't continue doing this job is if the social media thing blows up to be something, bigger than me, I guess. If it does turn into that, then obviously it would require me to walk away from the profession and focus on this. But you remove that side of it, you remove the social media side of it. I do believe that um, if gangs is, if it's in the plan for me, I'll take that route. I intend on also doing something like SWAT too. I want to be an FTO, and then once I've done all I can do at the quote unquote patrol level, then I'll start promoting and try to make it as high up as I can. And to me, it's kind of important to go high up as I can because I want people to see I want people to know what it's like to be relatable at that position. For example, like Kelso, Captain Kelso is relatable at that position. Like he doesn't leave his office closed off. Like, if I have his number, like if I call him, he's not gonna be like, "Why are you calling me?" He's, "Yeah, what you got, bro? Like, what's your question?" Or I want to be a resource for you. He's open door policy. Same for the captain where I'm at too. He's super cool, super authentic. Um, and he just like same thing, open door policy. I'm not going to close my door for anybody. If you got a question, come speak. And I just want to keep that being a thing. I want people to know that at that position you can still be relatable rather than just closing the door on people. I just don't like that idea of letting the position get to your head. So that would be my
Facts.
reason for making it to the top for sure.
And another thing is good to see, you know, people that look like us in those leadership
100%.
positions too, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is important.
Yep. I know Ben, you know, Kelso, he's a captain. Is there many others that look like us, and not just
Yeah.
males, but females as well in San Diego?
Yeah. We got one of our chiefs is a female, and before her there was another chief that was a female. We got a couple female lieutenants. We have a female captain, I'm pretty sure, and then we have a black chief. We got like 3 or 4 black captains. We got a few black lieutenants, a couple black sergeants. So we got some representation at the top for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's what's up.
I honestly feel like, I don't know for sure. I can't quote on this because I ain't never spoken to nobody about it, but I'm pretty sure our department strategically places like women at those positions. All right, we don't want to have all men up there. Let's get at least one woman. Let's get at least one black dude up there. That's what I think, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that because that's kind of, you look at all of our units, it's kind of set up that way to where you have diversity at each spot. So if it is set up that way, cool. If not, then I mean, I guess it's still cool, but
Yeah,
it does seem like it is that way.
Yeah, it's a pretty diverse department. You know, San Diego's a pretty diverse city as well. Progressive.
Yeah,
they got, you know, LGBTQ. You know, a lot of that even in the department. You know, Ben Captain Kelso hooked me up with, you know, a gay officer that I spoke with and did a show about that. You know, LGBTQ in law enforcement. So it's a pretty diverse department. You at a good spot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we are pretty diverse, and I mean, I work for all kind of people, so super diverse.
Yeah. So what's your favorite area down there to work?
I mean, I work it's called downtown and Barrio Logan Central area. Barrio Logan is more, it's like a Mexican Hispanic neighborhood, and then there's like some pockets of black gangs around there too. So that's where I like to be at. If I had to, because our area is split into 2 service areas. You got the downtown part, and then you got the Barrio Logan part. And like I said, I kind of more in tune to the gang stuff, so I like the Barrio Logan side of my service area. But downtown does bring some different type of experience when it comes to the calls that you see. So I still work my way over there when I can, especially if it's something I ain't never did. I'll go jump in and go do it. If I can get there first, hey, I'll take the paper on this one. Brian never did it. Just help me out if I mess it up. So I got no problem taking something I ain't did because it's all about the experience for me. So
what's your Spanish like?
I've been working on it, man. I got my wife is Mexican, so she when she starts teaching my son, that's my wife's first language was Spanish. So when she starts teaching my son, I think that's when I'll pick up on it a little bit. But I mean, I speak like very surface level. I can get by. Like I can order food in Spanish. If I got my gun pointed at somebody, I can give the right commands in Spanish. So I can do the basic stuff. But as far as like, good lingo and really having a conversation, nah.
Yeah. How often you get back up to LA?
I go back to the city probably, at minimum once a month. I still got a lot of my family over there, so I still work my way over there when I can. Hit up some of the food spots I ain't been to. But I mean, I can't be down there too long or too much just because them areas ain't the best. And I don't know. I don't want to be inclined to. I mean, if I do carry a gun wherever I go, I don't want to be inclined to get into something that I don't want to get into. So when the street lights come on, I'm going to the crib, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a lot of other professions too, where when you leave the hood, some of those people you gotta leave behind too, because you're in a different vibe now, a different zone now. So
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is. So growing up, you said you got a degree. Where'd you go to school?
So the first time I went to school in Shattern, Nebraska. It's on the northwest corner of Nebraska.
Where? What you doing in Nebraska?
That's everybody's response, man. But northwest Nebraska. It's a city called, or not even a city, a town called Shattern, Nebraska. I love my people up in Shattern, though, man. I learned a lot going there. I only ended up there, honestly, man, in high school. So I played football. I ended up there to play football. I was on a scholarship, but out of high school, I didn't make the best decisions with my grades and stuff, and I feel like it ruined my opportunity to go to bigger schools because I mean I shouldn't have been at a school that small. I had the talent to go somewhere bigger, and I had the film to go somewhere bigger. But you know, God is sovereign, and everything He does is for a reason. So I ended up there, and I don't regret it at all. I feel like I learned a lot. I learned a lot going there. It made me just a tougher man in general. I got to experience a different part of the country that I wouldn't have had to experience otherwise. Um, and then I learned how to talk to a different culture of people, and I feel like that's where I really
That
got my
part.
value from. Yeah, yeah. And even like for example, you can put on country music and I'll sing that shit like because I know it from being out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like that without that I wouldn't have never known any of that. And then just dealing with people that's never met a black person, like it exposed me to a lot going out there. Like I said, a different part of the country, different type of people that you just don't have in California. So no regrets going there. It made me into a better man ultimately, and although a different experience for sure. It was good though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that for sure, Nebraska right there. But you mentioned, meeting people that never met black people
Yeah.
before, and what was that experience like to get them to warm up to you?
Yeah, man. I mean, I had teammates, dude. Like straight up, I got my last,
Well,
like my
well,
our last
teammates
game.
teammates is a little different because you guys are working for a common goal.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have that, but just the other students and people in
So
town and all that sort of stuff.
so in general, from the people that I knew that told me like, yo, I never met a black dude before. You know, you're the first person I met. I would say majority were pretty accepting of someone like me. There was a few people that were like stand off, like, oh, I don't fool with black people, like straight up. Like I've had somebody tell me straight up just like that, like, oh, I don't fuck with black people. I'm like, all right, whatever. I've had some racist experience. Like my first 30 minutes out there, I had someone tell me like, oh, we don't want you fucking niggers here. I've had that happen. Um, there was a time when we all went to a party and it was a bunch of some basketball players, some football players. So obviously we're all black. We're walking up, all from the city and stuff like that. Walking to the party and he was like, nah, no black people allowed in here. You guys aren't allowed. And we're like, yeah, right. Like we're walking in. So he
What?
pulls out a shot. I swear, this is a real story.
Wow.
He pulls out a shotgun, cocks it, and he's like, if y'all come in here, I'm gonna shoot you. So stuff like that, like people say racist, people
I'm
ain't
out.
experienced nothing like that. Yeah, yeah. Well, we definitely left. Like we don't want no problem.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're out of here. So, but I have experienced stuff like that in Nebraska. But that was a small few. That wasn't not the majority. There were some people that, like I said, that were pretty accepting of me, bro. Like one of my boys, one of my closest homies from Nebraska was a white dude. Had no black friends before, but we ended up being super cool. I still talk to him to this day. We talk to each other all the time. So it just depends, bro. Like some people are open minded, and it also depends on the delivery of the man in general. Like I feel like I have a pretty accepting personality. I don't change who I am for nobody. I am who I am, and like I said, a lot of people out there were accepting of me, even if they didn't had never met a black person, and some people weren't, and that was a small minority. So
Yeah. What position did you play?
I was kind of like a interchangeable guy. I played corner, safety, nickel. I just stuck between those three positions, depending on what was needed that game. If there was a fast guy in the slot, then I was going to the slot. If somebody got hurt, then I was going where that position got hurt. So because I kind of knew how to play all three, the nickel, safety, and corner, I just moved around whatever was needed for that week. So
Okay, so you was a fast dude back then. You still got wheels today?
in the police world, yeah, I'm still fast. In the regular world,
Okay.
nah, I'm like whatever.
Right,
In the
right,
in the
right,
sports
right.
world, I'm like mediocre speed, but in the police world, yeah, I'm definitely still fast for sure,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
I'm talking about. So we talking about foot pursuits. Mosley. That's you.
Yeah, yeah. It was
That's
funny
you.
because yeah, for sure. Everybody like when they kind of found out I play football, they're like, "Oh, we got to get you in a footy." So it had took a minute, like a year had passed by, and I hadn't been into a footy, and they're like, "No, we're gonna get you on one." And then the first footy I got in, I ran a dude down from like it was a big staircase. I ran him down he was probably like 40, 30 yards in front of me probably, and I was able to run him down. But I think to give him a little bit of credit, I think he gassed out, but still, I mean, I caught him. And then I got into like a footy right after that, and it was a trip because I fell. I was running, I was getting close to the dude, and this dude was like a professional runner. He got away from the K9 before, so this dude was a
Oh,
professional crook. Yeah, for sure. And but he was running through all these terrains and stuff, and he was running through bushes, and I ain't chasing nobody to no bushes. So he ran through the bushes. I stopped. I'm like, okay. I went around. He popped out the bushes again. I ran after him again. I tripped over a bush, and I still ain't got the end of that one. They're like, "Oh, you supposed to be a fast guy? You let this homeless dude outrun you?" So people always make fun of me now,
yeah.
but it's all love
You
though.
know, I always
So
say that's why God made cars.
come on, talk to him, and they make
Yeah,
them
yeah,
fast, crazy Malinois too. So
yeah. For for real, for real.
yeah.
I tell you a story about years ago when I was back on patrol. The only time I lost some dude. We go to a call of this family having an issue with their teenage son. So you know how that's
Uh huh.
gonna go already.
Yeah, already.
Teenage boy, right? And
Uh
so we talked to him me and my partner talked to him on the stoop of the house, on the porch of the
huh.
house. And then I got to go back out to the car to do something, to run him or something, right? So it's this long driveway, and I'm at the car, and then all of a sudden I hear, Dale, he's coming towards you, right? And it's nighttime, right? And all of a sudden I turn around and I hear this kid coming, right? He's running toward down this driveway towards me. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna do this football tackle, right?
Yeah.
This boy put a move on me, juked me. I jumped at him, flat on my face, and he gone. He gone.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, brush off. I don't know what happened, man. He was,
Hey, you got to move on.
yeah, he got to move on. But especially it was just a kid that was acting stupid in the house. It wasn't committing no
Yeah,
crimes or nothing, so we didn't chase him. But I was like, really, man, this dude, this
that's
kid
funny.
juked me. I'm sure he was telling all his homies.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's like, man, I just cooked the police, bro.
Yeah,
I
I
bet
just
for
juked
sure he
this
was
cop.
talking. Yeah,
For real. But
yeah,
yeah, that's the fun part about this profession. I'm glad you took this profession over fire, because we always make fun. They are brothers and all that.
yeah. They
But
are. Yeah,
this the best profession, because when we out there doing work, what they doing? They barbecuing,
killing.
playing Xbox, watching the games. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
polishing up the
we always
truck,
make.
working out.
I always one of my homies that I went to. I played football with in Chatter. He's a firefighter in Texas, and sometimes like I'll be like I'll call him a second responder, and then he'll be like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like we go to everything," and I'm like, "Nah, dog. It's the reason why you're saying,
Yeah,
oh, we're gonna stand by for PD to get here."
yep,
But it's
yep.
all love though, man. I love firefighters, man. We can't. There's no way we can do our job without them.
Right, right. And so in the beginning, you talked about you were originally going to go in for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a good profession, being a paramedic, firefighter, paramedic, or what have you. Are
Yeah.
there opportunities to use that kind of skill set at the PD?
Well, no, I was going to school. Like I went to school for chemistry, so I mean, I ain't really useful,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well,
I feel like when it comes to medical stuff, I never really did much with that in school. I mean, I know parts of the body. I know like the anatomy and all that stuff, but as far as like bringing someone to life or doing CPR, none of that stuff. Most of that stuff I learned in the academy. So
yeah.
other than that, I don't really have much experience with that kind of stuff
Okay.
that I got from school. So
Yeah, because I know like SWAT teams, they got EMTs on them, to be able
yeah.
to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, because I know our SWAT team, we got two guys that are EMTs on it.
So if I was able, like, if they were like, "Hey, we want you to go to school for that," I would have no, because I understand it already. Like, I understand what it's like to study and gain and grab that kind of material in a fast pace. I got no problem doing it, but I just haven't done anything like that thus far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's the next video? Give us a preview. What you gonna be doing on the social?
Shit, man, I'm kind of stuck right now. I had made a video, but I was unsure if I wanted to post it. But it was about the Assembly Bill 2773. That's about people having to, or police having to state why they're doing a traffic stop when they first walk up to the car. So that's what I was trying to
Right.
do, and then I kind of felt like there was a lot of people that kind of already knew it, but there's a story that I talk about in the video that I think is pretty cool, and But
Yeah,
basically,
save that for the video so everybody can go to the
all
Trey
right, all
Mosley
right.
page on IG so they can, yeah. You know, I remember being taught and you know, when I was at FTO, teaching new officers, that's kind of part of what the spiel you do when you go up to the car. Hi, I'm Officer Mosley with the San Diego Police Department. The reason why I stopped you
Yeah.
today is yada, yada, yada. Is that kind of how you still being taught?
Yeah, it's the same thing, and then I know that that's how they want us to do it. To say why you stopped the person, and then like once I finished the academy, someone was like, "Oh, you don't have to tell them why you stopped them," which I didn't
Nope.
know. And then I was like, "All right, well, if somebody wants to like try to be an asshole or whatever, then I just won't tell them why. But if someone's being cool, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I stopped you for X Y Z." And but once I found out you didn't have to do it, I only didn't do it when someone was just like talking crazy and I couldn't even get it off yet. Then I just won't
Right.
say it. But.
Yeah. A lot of it is, yeah. Well, I'll talk about that as soon as I get that ID because you want that ID first.
Man, yeah, that's the main thing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you ever done about Miranda? Because I see that all the time on TV.
I have not done that. That's a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, because people every time they see that on TV, people think that as soon as you put the handcuffs on somebody, you got to read Miranda.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I should do one about that one. I know a lot of my homies be talking about doing the detention versus arrest because a lot of people don't know. They just think the moment you go in handcuffs, you're going to jail. It's like, nah, dog, that don't really mean that. So.
Yeah. I kind of do a similar sort of thing, but I actually do it with like a setup like me and you right now. But I get like a non-law enforcement person, like a civilian, and talk about it. You know, a controversial body cam. You know, I'll get their thoughts about what they see. And then I kind of tell them what we're looking at as a police officer. Same thing that you kind of do, except you do yours in the comments. I actually do it with a person, and we watch the video together, and then we talk about what they think they saw and all that good stuff. So,
but I'm trying to work into that. I'm just working on getting a studio, but I'm trying to work my way into that right there. So, in the time being, it's been the videos with the background I got right here. I've been doing those videos.
Well, you don't need no studio. I mean, this my garage. You know.
Oh, that's smooth. That's smooth.
Yeah. So, I'm a DJ also. So, my love for music right there. So y'all down there at San Diego PD, y'all need a DJ you need a DJ, whatever. That's what I do.
All right.
But yeah, so law enforcement, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you just hook up a little space in, a spare room or whatever. And you be good. You be good, man. Hey, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on and doing this with me, man. Tell me some words of wisdom. Tell my audience, my viewers, little words of wisdom before I get you out of here.
You have is most of your audience like police or civilians?
No, civilians.
So I would say as civilians, man, you don't gotta respect the badge. You don't gotta respect the person wearing it. That is the most important thing. When you respect the badge, you're able to see the officers individually for who they are. So that's the best advice I can give to a civilian right there.
That's what's up. Hey, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate you. You be safe down there in the beautiful city of San Diego. And you know what? When you go down there, you can take them Chargers back with you.
That's funny. I'm not even a Chargers fan for real, but
no, I'm not. I'm a Niner fan, but
oh my, of course.
Yeah, I'm a Niner. Hey, LA, we ain't had all that time. We didn't have a football team. You had to pick somebody, right? So I picked the Niners. But I'm a Laker fan through and through.
Oh, of course. Okay.
So you can take them Clippers back with you too, because that's where they originally from, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So take all them bums with you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The Chargers coming back would be cool because I like working.
It would. You know what? Actually, they shouldn't have never left.
I don't know why they left. Yeah, because people in San Diego they be like, nah, I'm good at the Chargers now because of that. But
yeah, because they came up here to be a second, a tenant.
Come on, bro. Yeah,
somebody else's building.
Yeah,
and nobody up here, nobody's talking about the Chargers up here.
Yeah, ain't nobody talking about the Chargers. Yeah, hell no.
Nope. this Rams and Raiders country up here too. So
yeah, of course.
For real. Hey, brother, man, I appreciate you, man. Be safe.
Yeah, of course, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Another amazing interview with another amazing guest right here on the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to thank San Diego Police Officer Trey Mosley for blessing the mic here with us today. Keep doing your thing, young brother. You got a real bright future in front of you. If y'all enjoyed my conversation with Trey as much as I did, go on ahead and let me know by leaving a comment right down there below. And don't forget to like and share this episode as well. I'll be back real soon with another dope interview, just like this one. But till then, say it with me. Stay black in blue. I'll holla at you. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.